Hello, hello. I'm Michelle Carter, and I'm the owner of MCB Nurse Consultant. And I happen to be the founder of the DON Success Network, which is a membership and community for directors and nurses in long-term care, where they can grow as a whole leader and become the CEO of their nursing department. But today, I want to talk to you about my shift, my journey of being a director of nursing for 8 years in the same facility. If you are joining us in for day two, yesterday I did talk about my first year. And I talked about a little bit about how I've been a director of nursing overall for the last 18 years. I've been a nurse for 25 years. But I want to tell you a little bit about me, a little bit more personal things a little bit today. I have been a director of nursing for 18 years, again, a nurse for 25 years, but I'm also a wife, a mother, a grandmother. I am a mother of two wonderful daughters. I'm a grandmother of three grandchildren, two granddaughters and one grandson. I'm a wife of 7 years to my wonderful husband. And I'm a sister, I'm a aunt, I'm a best friend. I'm a whole leader. So just to want to give you a little bit of background about me. But let's get into year two of my journey, of my 8-year journey of being in the same building for the last 8 years. We left off yesterday that I'm going into year 2018. And 2018 was different. I started in 2017 at a great facility. We had we got some issues that happened and at the end of 2017, going into 2018 for my survey in 2018. But now we've passed the survey. We cleared our tag for the incident that happened in 2017. And now what? Now I have to not worry about survey at that moment because we're done. Now I got to build my team. As I mentioned earlier, my team they weren't as engaging with me because they hadn't had consistent leadership. And two, I was a very nosy DOM. I asked a lot of questions, and they were not used to people asking questions. But I asked questions because I had experience. I came from crisis buildings. I came from buildings that I had to put fires out all day, every day. So, and then when I got when the resident had the incident and we got the harm tag, it made me be more aware, I got to know everything. I have to know everything, every time everything happens and everything. And it was different strategies I learned on the way from being a director of nursing in different places when I was a unit manager that I brought into this organization. Overall, the organization has been great to me. It did teach me a lot of leadership development overall in the organization, but I still had to learn how to connect with my team. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle. It was a struggle, I think, for a couple of reasons. One, I think it was a culture struggle because I happen to be African American woman, and I was in a predominantly white environment. Never felt they never treated me bad as far as that, but I think it still was a underlining struggle. I have a very, very strong personality, and I ask a lot of questions because I just need to know why. In 2018, I didn't understand why I was the way I was, but I learned that more when I started teaching and coaching personality science, and we'll be talking about that as our years progress. But and I had to find who was going to be the team members that were going to really help me connect with the team. So my RNAC was a person that really in this journey really helped me just be able to connect better. She was my right-hand person. It was just me and her for the whole, from 2007, from August of 2017 until the middle of 18. So we did the on-call together. We did all the manager duties together. My administrator was very helpful with me, was very helpful in the beginning. I had a very strong supervisor, and I had some strong nurses that were able to gravitate to me. Now I can say all across the board, the nurses were pretty strong, but there were certain ones that I was able to gravitate to them, and they were able to gravitate to me. I had an ER system, electric health record system. I had no idea what it was. It was Matrix Care. I was completely lost about it. I would sit on my lunch break and practice Matrix Care, practice putting orders in, and I go get the nurses to help me to make sure I was doing everything right, because I always feel like I can't help you if I don't know how to do it myself. And then I've always loved to learn, and an opportunity came up that I could go back and get my administrator license. I said, oh, I could do that. And then I can start planning, like maybe in a couple of years, I could be an administrator. Well, that's what I thought the plan was, but that wasn't God's plan. And I didn't do that. But I was so determined, like, I have to do something more. So I signed up and started working on my master's degree, because I said, in a couple of years, I'm going to stop working as a DON. I can go teach people. I can open more opportunities for myself. Now, I already had my bachelor's degree when I got this position. I got my bachelor's degree in 2015. So I said, well, I want to try for my master's. So I'm a director of nursing. I'm planning a wedding. Didn't tell you that part. I'm planning a wedding. I was a grandmother. My children are grown, but I still decided, let me put something else on my plate. So I decided to go back and get my master's degree. Me and my husband did get married in May of 2018. So in the midst of all this, I was planning the wedding, trying to engage with my team, trying to understand my team, trying to build census, trying to build our staffing, and I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna go to college. So that's what happened in 2018. Then we also had to start getting ready for survey for the next year. So our survey is always in the first quarter of the year, which I like it and I don't like it. I don't like it because both my husband and I's birthdays are in the first quarter. So we really don't get to do a lot of big things for birthdays. But what I do like about it is once it's done, it's done. And I have 9 months to relax a little bit. But so we're ready, trying to start putting processes together. We lost some staff, we gained some staff to try to start putting processes together for our survey in 2019. My year anniversary was August 28th, 2018. I made it 1 year. Yay! I made a year. So somebody had told me a long time ago, I'm not going to say somebody, a mentor, a very, very close, he was a regional consultant to me. He was a close mentor to me. And he had told me a long time ago, a building can fall apart in 9 months, but it takes about a year. I'm sorry, a building can fall apart in 3 months, but it takes about 9 months to a year to build your building up. So I made it that year, and we were starting to see some progress. We were starting to get some processes. I was getting a rhythm together. The staff was starting to understand me. I was starting to understand them. And I felt I was learning. I was being, the organization is really, really big on leadership development. I never worked for an organization like that. So I was building up my leadership development. And I said, okay, we're getting a rhythm here. We're rolling on down the road. We're getting a rhythm. And It was good. 18 was not bad. Survey in 19 wasn't. We had no other harm tags, no other resin accidents. We had pulled out a whole plan for the leg rest, so we never had problems with the leg rest for a long time after that. Because I was like tiring. Make sure the leg rest is on. Make sure the leg rest is on. But it was good. Me and the administrator were working together pretty good. And then we went into 19. 19 survey, it wasn't bad survey. It was some things we had to brush up on. You might have missed a dot your I here, cross your T a couple places. But overall, it wasn't a bad survey. It could have been better, but it wasn't a bad survey. And you could always improve. But what I was most proud of, the team was they were accepting of me. We want to go into buildings as DONs and think the teams are going to automatically like you. It's not going to happen. You have to, I hate to say it, but sometimes as a DON, we have to prove ourselves to them, especially when it's a building that has had multiple DONs, because they want consistency. They want a captain, but they got to trust that the captain's going to stay on the ship with them. And I stayed on the ship for a year. And I was part of a good management team, and things were really like, I was like, okay, I like this. I like this job. I felt, confident. I was trying to balance it out. Mind you, nobody except for my administrator and a couple of my nurses in the building, nobody in my organization knew I was going back for my master's degree. And it was a shock for them when I graduated, but we'll talk about that as we proceed on. But in 2018 was a good year. I learned a lot. I was able to build up. My confidence felt a little bit better. I still was the newbie, but then a couple of DONs left and other buildings, and now I wasn't such the newbie, but I still didn't feel like, oh, this is mine yet. I felt like, okay, I'm almost there, but this wasn't really, I didn't feel like this was my building yet, because I still needed to continue with the process. I needed to continue that consistency. And I know you're sitting on the edge of your chair waiting to hear what happened in 2019. So you got to come back for day 3, and we'll talk about 2019 and my journey. So don't forget to follow us on MCB Nurse Consultant on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe when you follow us, and catch us tomorrow for year 3, 2019. It's Michelle Carter, and I will see you tomorrow.